on down, and I told them that I was going to keep my legal papers, that also other property, the cigarettes and pencils that I had, that they can have it, but I have a right to keep stuff in my own possession. And they told me I wasn't allowed to, and I said I was allowed to because it's part of my constitutional rights. And 10 of them surrounded me, and I said, I'm not scared of your hole, you can't break my spirit, and proceeded to walk towards the hole and said, let's go to the hole. And one of them snatched my neck, grabbed my neck, and then simultaneously, practically, they grabbed my arms and neck, and another one began to hit me down in my privates, my groin area, my testes, and at the same time I was being choked, viciously choked, and I passed out. And then I was in the hole. In the hole, there's nothing in there, it's just a box, about 4 by 7. It's very high ceilings, and there's a hole in the floor for one to defecate, urinate, or what have you. And this hole in the floor is not, it's a flushing mechanism that's used from outside. Well, every hour and a half or 2 hours or so, they would flush it. It was stopped up, and the defecation come back up out of the hole. Water, urine, and crap all over the floor and everything. And this went on for 14 hours until another shift came on. Well, on one of the other shifts that came on, an officer decided to open the door. And all this defecation and water and crap an inch high and everything. He had enough, just few in here that have some kind of humane sense. But he had it cleaned out and, you know, used some sterile stuff in the mops and stuff in the floor. My tonsils were swollen, swollen throat. My temperature was rising behind this tonsillitis problem, and I had to sleep on the floor for 52 hours. This, all in all, is part of the persecution of the Black Panther Party. This is just one incident, whereas recently, as you know, Brother Fred Hampton has been murdered by the fascist pig police departments, the Daily Machine, in connection with the federal government's operation to commit genocide against the Black Panther Party and also imprison Black Panther Party members. Not because we've broken any law, but because our 10-point platform and program and the community action programs that we've put together that are very concrete things that serve the people are being implemented daily, and black people in Black America are accepting these basic programs, while at the same time the fascist mass media is consistently attempting to maintain the status quo, the fascist operation of the Nixio Agnew fascist machine. In jail, you know, well, in prisons in America, especially where black people live, populated, is rapidly rising, way over 50% black people in prisons. We and I are not the only political prisoners. The Black Panther Party alone, we have over 50 political prisoners, along with the recent 4 brothers who were wounded in Chicago. Inside the jails, there are always attempts to try to break the spirit of political prisoners, but we know that you can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution.
Tell me that the sun belongs to you and should surround you. Yet when I turn to look, I see they've snatched the sun from all around you. Why, you hardly seem to want what's yours, you hardly seem to care. If you love the sun, it's where you come from, then you had better dare to seize the time. The time is now, oh, seize the time, and you know how.
Huey started out very correct when he cited and stated that every human being on the face of this earth has a right to live. Therefore, every human being on the face of this earth has a right to work, because he must be able to work to live. This is the crux of the problem. In this country, we have numerous idealistic dreams, but I think many of them have to be made a reality. We understand that some of the middle-class workers have some degree of land, bread, housing, education, clothing, and I'm not going to say too much about peace, But workers who are attacked by cops, workers who are numerously exploited with gross amounts of taxes to wage war against peoples of color, this is completely out of proportion in terms of what a government should do when serving the people. And when we look around and see in America that in every major metropolis where black, Mexican-American people and protesting people live and reside, that police forces have been doubled, tripled, and quadrupled in the last 4 or 5 years, and we start tallying up the amount of money that's used for the new technical equipment and tanks and things like this to be used against the people, when we see increases of National Guardsmen not used for against some attacking enemy that the U.S. government always alludes to, but used against the people of America, the workers of America have to understand that it's the fascist ruling class that are infested in the government that is destroying America, that's creating the fascist police state, that has to be stopped by the masses of the people in America. And the Black Panther Party understands this, and we always have understood it. It's the right to equality, the right to human existence, the right to land, water, and air is the basic thing that no one gives anyone. It's here for mankind on the face of this earth. But when private property and ownership of land gets to an extent that it's a grossly national and international exploiting operation and a tantamount of bombs and oppression and killing and murdering people is the means by which the low-life, scurvy ruling class circles try to maintain what they've taken and robbed from the people's labor, well, then it's time that the people see the necessity of moving against that power structure, moving against the ruling class circles, the avaricious businessmen, the demagogic politicians, with all their running dogs, and people have to see that they outnumber them, and we have to move against them.
You worry about liberty because you've been denied. Well, I think that you're mistaken, or then you must have lied. 'Cause you do not act like those who care. You've never even fought for the liberty that you claim to lack. Or have you never fought to see the time? The time is now. Oh, see the time, and you know how.
I hope the black people see ourselves as a nation within a nation, in alliance with other peoples of color, and working in coalition with other peoples in this country to end the real reason, for us being oppressed. And this is very important, that when we define ourselves as a nation, we don't define it in terms of only being black. We define it in 4 basic categories of our general geographical location here in America, our basic economic status under the colonialistic type situation in the community, our general psychological makeup, and our general idiomatic expressions and language of the ghetto and the community. As these 4 areas is the real basis by which you define a nation within a nation, see? And these are related directly to the sufferance of the people, see? Whereas just only to relate to one's skin color or one's general makeup is a very narrow-minded notion, and it perpetuates a form of racialism and chauvinism amongst the people, see? I think that people are going to have to learn how to live together on the face of this earth, and the only way they're going to do it is to establish humane revolutionary systems that make some sense, you see. So when we start talking about a new system, we have to talk about a new system based on, from each and every person, according to their ability, both male and female, to each and every person according to their needs, both male and female. We even denounce male chauvinism. It's a part of oppression. We believe in equality of male and female, you see. The old chauvinistic attitudes that come about even amongst cultural nationalist group, the woman's place is here and all this kind of stuff, is directly related to the oppressive system of America itself. Nations are out to progress, not to digress. You know what I mean? Not to go backwards as human beings, you see. I have dashikis, you know. I own them. I like them. You know what I mean? But the power don't grow out of the sleeve of a dashiki. So that's important. See, power grows out of organizing around the real revolution, the issues. You see what I mean? I can eat black-eyed peas and ham hocks and cornbread in some raggedy clothes, or some new clothes, or some of my African clothes. You see what I mean? So it's the fact that we have to feed our people. If I'm unemployed, it doesn't make no difference how I'm unemployed. And I think that Seale, who wrote this recent article in Black Scholar, The Dialectics of Culture, that's where it's at. I think that that's what a lot of our black brothers and sisters from, you know, have to read and see what's happening. You see? We've been misguided to think that we have to customize all the leavings of our culture. Just about everything we got is customized, you know, because brothers are not going to stop playing them saxophones the way they play them, you know what I mean? And they're going to process, and they're also going to change. If you just look at the history from Satchmo blowing the trumpet, you see what I mean, to the way brothers blow trumpet now, which is still related to our idiomatic expression, one sees culture as a change, you see what I mean? Whether he puts on a dashiki and blows it next one or not, you see what I mean? That's part of the change, you see? The very fact that we change from the old, misguided Tarzan concept of black people to a concept of a beautiful black people is a change in itself. But at the same time, we can't stagnate the revolutionary movement. We must go on to a higher level. See?
You tell me that the soul is real and your soul must survive. Taking liberties with your soul's angel. Don't tell me that you lack concern for all that you must be, 'cause I know you must not be turned, and I know that you can see to seize the time is now, oh seize the time, and you know how.
The genocidal, murderous tactic that the Black Panther Party are subjected to by the fascist ruling class circles who are infested in the United States government and local governments by the running dogs and their pigs, jailings of political prisoners, what have you, cannot be justified, just as the atrocities that have been committed against black people over the years of lynchings, murders, and the oppression, the economic, political, and social oppression that black people have been subjectified at all. So we're going to move to go to the United Nations along with other organization groups and peoples to ask the United Nations to recognize black people as first-class citizens by recognizing black people as a nation of Afro-Americans, a nation within a nation, working and cooperating for the progress of humanity here in America to end the fascist oppression that the United States government is using not only against the Black Panther Party, but against black people and other poor, oppressed, and colored peoples in general. So, all in all, we're going to ask also the United Nations to recognize the proposal of the Vietnamese that political prisoners be turned loose, started with Huey and myself, and the Vietnamese say they will send the pilots home, the prisoners of war there. So we say power to the people, and we hope the people move to end the oppression and stop the war against poor, oppressed, colored people in general and black people in particular.